Aloha! Welcome back to Real Talk with Roxelle. Real, raw, relatable. You know how I do. Anyhow, it is almost afternoon here. I'm still having my coffee. I got this cute little Sagittarius mug made from my website here at fusedhawaii.com. I released all this line with all of the different zodiac signs, of course. Sagittarius enamel mug made for me. So cute, the Roxelle logo on it. So check it out if you love cute mugs like I do, and lightweight. And I love metal cups, so copper and enamel mugs. Love it. Anyhow, let's get to the talk. And I like to keep it free flowing. I like to see what comes up in my mind. So I'm going to pull something here kind of to set the tone. This is my Body Love Letters deck, of course, sold at Fuse Hawaii. If we still have some in stock, fusedhawaii.com. But I made this love letter deck to send positive affirmations and love to ourselves. I made it a couple of years ago. Didn't know at the time I'd be using it every single day now. So sometimes things come to you at the right times and you don't even know what it's going to be at the end of the day. But I did get inspired to create this deck a couple of years ago, not having any idea why. And here I am using this Body Love Letter deck. I'm at 36 weeks right now, pregnant when I'm recording this. So waiting any day now. Any day now, this baby will arrive on its own timing like it always does. This is my 6th pregnancy. So yes, I've done this quite a few times. So let's see what is in store for us for today. What message arrives? I think this one here. I am safe in my skin. I am home. So let that sit with you for a little bit. I am safe in my skin and I am home. If that resonates with you, take that away for your day, your little positive affirmation for today, and remember it. And I love looking at these messages that I get from these cards and letting it kind of just sink in and seeing what message I get. I feel like we all take away something individually from every experience in our life, right? And so same with these messages, we all resonate with it differently. So I am safe in my skin. I am home. So my takeaway from this today, if we're just having real talk over coffee with all of you, I am safe in my skin and I am home. This is a time in my life where it's been a bit rough, a bit rocky. I've been going through my 6th pregnancy now. Running my business during the times of the world's in these days, and economy the way it is, and I don't know, I don't watch the news, but I hear it's crazy out there. And so what I feel when I read this card is no matter what's happening outside of me, all I remember during this entire creating of a human for the 6th time, where I sat with myself so many days, because I was on bed rest a big part of this pregnancy. I wasn't able to move around a lot like I usually do. So I really resonate with this card today, because to find that safety within yourself when a lot of our adolescent years were taught to rely on things that are outside of us for security, whether it be money, right? Whether it be people, whether it be getting a higher education for stability, relying on things that are outside of ourselves. This could even be religion at times, and anything that we're clinging onto that is outside of our bodies, our skin. This is what this card brings to mind. Is kind of an illusion. And that's what I've learned when I was able to sit with myself through these past 8-9 months or so and really reflect on the things that I've built in my life, the goals I've gone after, the friendships that I've accumulated over the years, or just the relationships and bonds that I've had with people. And how do I feel? And currently having this much time alone in my skin to feel at home, I can actually say it's an amazing feeling, but I hadn't always felt that way my entire life, right? This is something that's even comes in and out like the tide. That's another interesting thing this card brings to mind, is sometimes we feel like we've gotten to a certain place in our life and we're okay, right? Like currently I'm here feeling safe in my skin and home and really embodying self-love and on this journey of healing for myself. But what I've also known in my past is that things change. Circumstances change constantly. And it might feel like the tide coming in and out of our lives. And sometimes it gets frustrating because we don't have that control, right? We can't grab hold of the tide and keep it there, right? We sometimes want to, but when we attempt to, the water just slides through our hand. It's like trying to hold on to the wind. And really, our energy goes wasted, and we learn that after the fact. And I've learned that over and over in my life, time and time again, when I'm trying to grasp, attach onto something and hold on to it, thinking that it is my safety, it is my home, rather than going within myself and holding on to myself and doing all the things necessary to build this foundational in me. I've learned in past experiences that, that's not always the best thing to do. Right? And so I'm 35 years now on this journey and learning this, and learning that I can find safety within myself is a super, super powerful feeling. And I think the first time I really experienced that was on my first pregnancy. I felt like that was the first time I had that mind-body connection and experience that I actually was aware of. My daughter was in my stomach. She was a breached birth. She was 6 weeks early, so she was premature, breached. Having a natural birth in the hospital on those terms is not actually always advisable. But it was the first time where I could actually tune into my body, listen to my body, and trust that. There were about 8 different doctors that day that told me that was the bad idea, that a C-section was the only way to go, that they had all these degrees. They were much more knowledgeable than me. I was 24 at the time. This was my first birth. They know better, their doctors, is what my brain was telling me. But it was the first time when I listened to my body, I could actually hear. It's almost like it was speaking to me, and I kind of envisioned it like my daughter was speaking to me at the time. And all I could hear was, "You got this. You've been trained." I've taken classes to breached birth. I was working with midwives and doulas at the time, and I just remember my body saying, "We got this. You are strong." And I got these messages when I would actually sink into and listen. And it's like, at that moment, I felt that connection, that heart connection, that mind, body, soul connection that they speak of. And I hear about it a lot, but I had never experienced it like that, to where I felt so powerful in that moment. Nothing could break that. Not even these tiny little fear moments or these comments from these doctors were going to make me change my mind, because I knew what I felt inside of me to be true. And that was the first time ever I learned to trust my instinct, trust my gut, trust my intuition, right? And that is what came to mind when I says I am safe in my skin and I am home, because that was the first time I learned it, and it woke me up. And I've been on a journey ever since to continue feeling into, your body, feeling and connecting and knowing and trusting myself. And so when I read that, that's what comes to mind. I'd love to know in the comments what comes to mind for you. I know we all resonate with these messages, with everything differently, depending on our life paths and our life journeys. And, on that note, just being on this journey of this 6 week, this pregnancy of my sixth pregnancy, it's taken me on a whirlwind. I've got to sit and observe for this long period of time. And I was able to really, what do we do, for our homes, to maintain our homes For her to feel safe and at home, what is the first thing that comes to mind when it comes to your home? For me, it's I keep my home clean. I keep my home safe for my kids. I make sure there's no clutter in my home, right? As much as possible. When there is anything, when there are pests in my home, I get that taken care of immediately, right? We're always really tending to our homes. That's the place we sleep. That's the place we feel safe and secure. And in order for us to feel that way, we need to maintain our homes. So the same holds true for our bodies, our skin, our lives, our relationships, the people we choose to be around, the music we let in, the movies we watch, the food we intake, right? If our bodies are to feel safe, if our bodies are to resemble feeling like home, that's the first step that needs to be taken, right? Is cleaning up our bodies. So whether it be the foods we intake, right? The people, what we're intaking through music, through what we watch, we really want to be clear that we're creating that safe environment for our bodies. And that's, something I had to learn, because there were many of years where I still, even knowing all of this, still make some bad choices along the way. But there were many of years where I allowed people to come in who didn't necessarily deserve to be there at the time. And I had to learn through lessons of going through the hard parts in life and seeing people for who they truly are. But at the same time, those were people that I attracted to me. Those were people that I had to realize, all right, if I don't want to attract those types of people in my life who cause heartbreak, who cause pain, and of course, we're always the cause of our own pain. So taking accountability was a big step of this process of looking at my life and saying, hey, this is my responsibility. I made these choices. Now, how do we go forward and change that? Because it's always in our power to change our stories, right? It's always in our power to put the thoughts into our minds, to exude, making sure that we're speaking empowering ways. So it starts with our thoughts, it goes to our words and our thoughts affect our actions and our behavior. And we are actually 100% in control of ourselves. And so going back to the beginning of this, just to kind of run full circle of this message here, it's, if we have the ability and we have the power to change our thoughts, our words, our actions, our outcomes, right? And we have that power. It brings me back to that message in the beginning, that illusion that we create of safety outside of ourselves, which is what we are bred to believe from childhood, that school is somehow, higher education is going to somehow save us, that a certain career is going to somehow save us, that having a certain amount of money is going to somehow save us. If we attach to these things, that knowing the right people and being in the right friend groups and cliques is going to somehow save us. And without those things, we are not safe. That's an illusion. And knowing what we know now, just in this 13, 14 minutes of talking to you, right? If we clear away that illusion, the real power, the real everything is found right here in ourselves. Because this is what we can 100% control with our thoughts, our words, our actions, which then are the only things that affect the outcome. And so let's remember this. This is the message that comes through to me today, to all of you. And I hope it resonated with you. And I hope this is something that can bring comfort, ease to anybody who stopped by my channel today who needed to hear that. I know not everything I say will always be meant for you on that day, but take away what you can if you want to, and leave the rest that doesn't resonate with you for the next person that comes along, and maybe it was for them to pick up along their journey. So let's carry on today into our week, our month, the rest of our year, really honing in on that home feeling within ourselves and keeping our primary focus for the year. And I'm sure, I know that we're going to see results when we do that. And yeah, that's all I got for you today. Thank you for coming in and, just lifting my morning as well, my afternoon, my day, just being able to speak my truth and share my story. I hope inspires you, because it really brings me joy. It's a gift that I get to give to the world. And I hope that it inspires you to give your gift as well to the world around you. All right. Aloha. Bye-bye.